This is my collection of Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens in black. Now, I really love the Faber-Castell range. You probably heard me talking about it many times. When I first started doing my black and white ink pictures, it was just white paper with black ink and a brush or a nib pen. But then I discovered these Faber-Castell pens, and they're so versatile and easy to carry around with you. They're pigment ink, they're acid free, permanent, they're waterproof, they dry quickly, they're easy to use and transport, extremely fade resistant, and they can be bought in sets or individually. The thing about caring for your pens, and this is really important, always store them horizontally, never have them up vertically in a pen pot. There's lots of storage systems, but it's very important to keep them flat because that preserves the life of them. If you have them up on end, the ink can all drain away and they seem to dry out really quickly, and it will say on the pen packet to store horizontally, and that goes for all ink pens. They should be stored horizontally. You can store a ballpoint pen upright vertically, but never an ink pen. Always replace the cap securely, so you can hear when you put the cap back on, there's a click, and that just preserves the life of your pen as well. And if your pen nib gets dirty, don't run it under the tap or rub at it, just run it very gently along a surface of a piece of scrap paper, and that will just clean off any ink that you've picked up from another colour. If there's any obvious big blobs of fluff that you've picked up, then you can just gently remove that with your fingers. But these are such wonderful pens to use and to transport. Now, when I first started using them, I only had the S, and I think I later got an M, then I got a whole set, and then I found out when I was doing my pictures quite small that the XS was really better for me because it's such a fine, I can get the fine detail, and you can see here I've put what they call on the pen, that the letters that are on the pen, and then I've transferred that for you to the thickness of the pen, so you can see with straight lines, little dots and a little zigzag line. Now the fine liners, these first four, they're fine liners, and so they have the metal around them, so they're very fine tips, so they're very nice to use. And then when you get up to the 1.5, that is a bullet tip, so it's rounded, so you can't get such a fine line with that one. And then you move up to the C pen, which is the calligraphy. It's also a chisel, so I can hold it the right way around. You can see it's a square shape, so it's a chisel, so it's good for doing patterns even if you don't do lettering. And then I've got the 3 brush pens, the traditional brush pen, which I've had for a long time, and then I'll lay that there. We've got the soft brush, which is relatively new. Now it's basically the same sort of thing, but it looks slightly thinner and it's very flexible, so it's very good for getting patterns. And then I'll just put the lid back on those two. And then the last one we've got is the big brush pen, which is great fun, especially if you're doing big pictures and backgrounds. And this is a really chunky pen, great fun to use, very quick to do a background with that. So this is my collection. I really have to say I absolutely love these pens. I'm just going to line them all up again for you so you can see. So all of the black pens in the Pitt range are listed as 199. That is the shade for black. As there you see, nice little collection of pens. So if you're new to pens, depending whether you work big or small, just get yourself a couple of pens to try. But it's really nice when you do get your pen to do a little chart like this, so you can see what your pen is capable of and which pen is most appropriate for the subject that you're drawing.